be the one.
I'm sorry, I think I'm the one who ordered the hand job.
Have I requested the hand job?
Anyway.
I'll have the creamy Semyon guy.
Oh my god, it's starting today already.
I don't even know.
Brand new episode of the New Old Podcast. I'm Zim. I have a bubble in my throat. Christopher's right next to me, and Adam, feet OnlyFans. Ed, what was it last
Stick,
week?
is that
Ginger
my name?
Stick.
Yeah.
Adam the Toe Cupcake.
The Ginger Stick. The Ginger Stick is our producer. But anyways, first week podcast, we actually had viewers. We had listeners. And I have not gotten one piece of hate mail to our general email inbox.
We have a general
I was
email
gonna
inbox?
We do. And I checked it, and there's nothing in there.
What is it?
It's just the new old podcast at gmail.com.
Oh.
Not even like a spam email or anything?
Well, we've got. Well,
I had ordered some,
I have a filter set up.
some Russian pills.
What kind of pills?
What? Oh, those kind of pills.
You know.
Boner pills.
Did you see? Did you see that the Russians strapped? Do you know like that Boston dog robot?
Yes.
Yes.
They strapped an assault rifle to the top of it. And now
Why?
they're because I don't know.
How did Russia get one?
I
I thought Russia was shitty. I thought they couldn't afford cool robot dogs.
Well, it's not one of those.
This is
We
terrifying.
found out that you can order one of those robots for like $4,000, which is
That's
a
it?
lot of money,
That's
but
crazy.
still.
That's not bad.
We should go thirds and adopt a robot dog for the podcast.
No. I saw a viral video, or a virus video, if you
A
will.
virus video on the YouTubes.
On there was this chess playing AI robot that grabbed the kid who was playing his finger during the chess match.
Why?
And I'm like, why are we getting AI in everything? This is a child playing chess, and this thing grabbed its finger. Not great. Not great at all.
It's not good. I feel like, technologically speaking, it's enough.
We're
think
like
we're
good
good.
where we're at
I
for a
think
while.
so.
I think
mean,
we're
at least like, let's take a year and just let it cool down.
If there was like, is there any one technological advancement you would like to see? Like
Yes.
this would make this
They're
a
all.
bit easier.
I think they're all like medical. Like I don't think they
Medical.
should stop doing research. But like they just ripped up a bunch of stuff in my neighborhood to put in faster internet, and I'm sitting here going like, it can't be any faster than it is.
it will be.
How?
because
But like, what does that
Spectrum
even
is-
mean?
I'm gonna go on a Spectrum rant for like 3 seconds.
Like, what
Spectrum
is faster?
sucks.
If I'm in my house and 3 people are on Wi-Fi watching 3 different things on their devices and it's working fine.
See, you can do that. I can't even be on Wi-Fi by myself on my phone upstairs.
Right.
It just will not work.
Well, that's what's funny to me. Like, they're making these improvements in my neighborhood where everything's fine. But then I have, like, there's parts of town where, like, I can't even send a text message or something.
Right.
Also, 5G sucks.
Yeah.
I
Have you
Never-
guys,
I'm-
like,
I'm
anytime I'm,
never
on
really on it.
5G,
I don't have it.
it's shitty.
Yeah, I will say the move.
It's giving people cancer.
The move of Sprint and T-Mobile to merge has not been successful for my household. It's been terrible. And I had Sprint for 18 years. Never had a problem. And then all of a sudden T-Mobile SIM card comes, I plug it in, and I'm standing outside my house and I'm like, okay, I guess this is what 3G speeds are like. Great.
U.S. Cellular is the way to go.
That's what I have, too.
Yeah.
Because
or
a
Verizon.
net can be up in the UP at their cabin in the middle of the lake and still
Yeah.
make a phone
US
call.
Cellular around here is the best.
And it's
Right.
not like you live in the country or anything.
No, I mean, we're
Tell the people where, give me your address.
we live
He lives at newoldpodcast@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Email him today.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of different updates this week. Should we go into the Packers minute today? Should we do that? Because this is
The
gonna
pup
be
minute.
This is gonna be fucking terrible.
I watched the Tom Grossi video and
We got to talk about AJ Dillon. Did you guys see that?
no,
Oh, fuck
I
that.
saw a little thingy.
Dude, did you see?
I just
Okay.
I
So
saw
here's what
I
happened.
saw the title, but I didn't read
Here's
it.
what happened. Because I've read about it, and AJ Dillon has come out and said something.
Yes, he
So there was that soccer game.
Yep.
Because there's too much entertaining football happening at Lambeau. They wanted some of the other kind. Soccer fans, that's newoldpodcast@gmail.com. So they have this inexplicable soccer game at Lambeau Field. And like 30 people came, and it was awesome.
78,000. Anyway, keep going.
How much were tickets?
Dude, it was sold out. Keep going.
Okay.
It was Manchester United, bro.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh. I like the Oasis. So
Shout out to Noel.
shout out to Noel Gallagher,
Liam.
the best Gallagher.
The better Gallagher.
So there's a rain delay, and a lot of the Packers are at this game. So some security guards find A.J. Dillon, and they say, hey, come down on the field and like hype up the crowd, maybe do a Lambeau leap, get this thing going again. He says, okay. They help him go down there. Mm-hmm. He's in the end zone, like hyping up the crowd, and a police officer dressed up for doomsday, like he looks like he's getting ready to try to fight Batman. Like he's just to the nines. He's at a soccer game. The hooligans aren't even going to use their hands, and he's wearing a bulletproof vest. So he grabs A.J. Dillon by the collar and yanks him back. A.J. Dillon, you can see, like starts explaining himself. 2 security guards come and start explaining it. And then the cop, like, fairly aggressively just shoves A.J. Dillon away and lets him continue doing what he's doing.
Did they not know who he was?
No,
Probably
they didn't.
not.
But my thing is, either A.J. Dillon, in the eyes of this police officer, either A.J. Dillon is breaking a rule/law and needs to be detained, or he's not and needs to be let go. Why are you shoving people in the process of letting them go? Like, the act of letting him go implies, like, he's not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Well, then don't be shoving people, dude. And maybe just don't shove people at all.
Probably because the police officer didn't like to be wrong. And when security told him he was wrong, he had an emotional outburst.
I just love all the comments are like, how does this guy who lives in Green Bay not know who A.J. Dillon is?
Right.
He's working at Lambeau Field.
Really cracked that case, didn't you, copper?
Right. Also, like, how do you not just, like, guess that maybe this 6'8" man with thighs the size of my
tree
torso
trunks.
might be an athlete?
Yeah, you could see his thighs and be like, that's
Quadzilla.
A.J. Dillon.
See those
If it's
from
not A.J.
space.
Dillon,
Right.
it's an offensive lineman because he looks that big. He's
Speaking
huge.
of offensive linemen,
That's a quality transition you
Yeah, that was
accidentally
very
stumbled
good.
upon.
nice work.
I'm not really excited to talk about this.
It's a shame. And my thing mainly,
The big
like,
giraffe.
let's remember that he's a human man.
He is.
And he's being
is, absolutely.
kept from doing the thing he loves, which we have experienced
What we are
because of
talking
COVID.
about, for
We had
those
to
at
take a lot of
home,
time off, and it sucked.
What we are talking about is the unfortunate news of
The
David
beer
Bakhtiari
deleter himself.
is starting the season on the PUP list. Now, I'm gonna
It's
shed
been
some
over
optimism.
550 days.
I'm going to shed some optimism here. Even though in
I'm not
my
familiar
heart
with that
I know that it's probably not a great thing that he's in the PUP list. But what I will say is that they've always taken it slow with veterans. They don't have to use a roster spot while he's on the PUP list. So they can bring people in, they can do tryouts, they can sign an extra player. So there's a little bit of flexibility there. If for some reason something is just they want him to practice a couple days on the side to see how it's going to react because he just got into town, and say, oh, okay, well, you've had 3 practice days in a row or mini walkthroughs or whatever, and there's been no acting up of the knee, which is what happened last year when he played and then he got fluid in his knee and then that whole
He was
debacle.
getting fluid drained like once a week.
So that's the thing. Fluid is not something that it's a hard thing to manage if you got a knee problem. Anyway, but what I'm saying is maybe this is before we use a roster spot, and then we've got to slap IR on him if we lift him off the PUP list. Let's go through let's really test this thing the next 4 or 5 days. And if it's good to go, then we just activate him because there's a stupid number of people on that PUP list, I will also say.
Yeah.
Even though it's more procedural, it's still a fucking lot of names that are starting the year on the PUP list.
Well, like Watson's on there right now too, isn't
yeah.
he?
Although
But like, at least the time that they put him on now, instead of if they put him on right when the season started, he has to be on there for a certain amount of time. Versus now, they can take him off whenever they want.
So they can. It's advantageous right now because none of them are count towards the roster while they're on the pup list. So they can still work out. They can still do limited activities, and in the meantime, they can get a better look at other players with other reps. So there's a value there for sure. But to see just the number of total players on the physically unable to perform list is not great to start. Not great. And as a guy who always thinks they're hurt, I'm not feeling well going in.
Yeah,
fly
it's
around here.
unfortunate because he has, I think you could argue, the most knee-dependent job
It's up
on
there.
that field. Like,
It is up there.
you wonder if he played a different position, if he might be back by now.
If
But because,
he's a bigger dude. And
he's a bigger dude, and his whole job is to,
plant and
block
use leverage.
oftentimes two guys at a time. He might be blocking upwards of 650 pounds.
A lot of leverage.
Yeah,
that
and you don't want a
need to-
gooey knee for that job. That's a
and
real
I
bummer for
really
him.
hope he's okay because I think he's an excellent. He's always been well regarded locally.
Have you seen the video where Conan O'Brien scolds him?
No.
There's this segment that Conan O'Brien did where he's not good at video games, and he'll play video games with someone who's good at it. And one time it was Aaron Rodgers, and it was after the collarbone.
Oh, that's right.
And Conan wheels in this skeleton and goes like, "So where are you hurt?" And Aaron Rodgers shows him, so he smashes the collarbone with a hammer. And then all of a sudden Bakhtiari's there, and Conan goes, "So explain what happened." And Aaron explains it, and Conan turns to Bakhtiari and goes, "Where were you?"
That's right. That was actually pretty funny. I
It's
remember
real
that
funny.
now. Yeah, that's a bummer. I am excited though, overall, that players are there. Their practices start this week. I don't know as though anything really exciting happens. I will say this, and I wanted to mention this too when we talked about soccer in Lambeau in the game there. It sounded like the crowd was super into it and super loud, and they stood up the entire time. Packer fans, may we take something from the way the soccer hooligans
It's okay to
engaged in the
stand.
stadium? It's okay
And
to
it's okay.
stand.
Like, my thing is, and you can tell that, like, LaFleur talks about it, and
Dude.
Aaron Rodgers talks about it. Fans in Lambeau are terrible at, like, be loud now. Okay, now, don't be loud.
Oh my
God.
And they always,
It's
it's
the
just the
stupidest-
opposite.
So
Like,
so as somebody who's gone to games for 36 years,
But you're only 25.
but I'm only 25.
Some of those were fetal games.
Oh.
That's true. There probably about 10 years ago, probably shortly after they won the Super Bowl, the entire dynamic of that stadium changed. It changed completely. When I grew up, every single person there, every person knew you get loud when the defense is on the field and you shut the fuck up when the offense is on the field. Everybody knew it. My whole life, I learned that from watching other people.
And other
knowing
fan
it.
bases around the league still know that.
And other
like in
fan
Seattle
bases
and like
still know that. But what happened was the ticket prices started to really, really climb. And they're super fucking expensive compared to where they were. And they've priced themselves out of getting people who were there every week, who know every part about how to be a fan in that stadium.
And are
how to
there
conduct
for the
yourself,
game.
And are there for the game. And slowly they made it a party so they could monetize and really make as much money as possible. And what happens is all those people who are diehard fans who sat there in the 70s and 80s when they sucked, like my family, and still fucking sat there because you knew the game and the team, had to sell their tickets to make money back. The prices kept going up. So then what happens is you get all these people who have never been to a game, have no fucking idea how to conduct themselves, when to stand,
they
when
act
to make
like they're at a
noise.
sports bar.
It's totally a party. It's become a complete party. I was just talking to my uncle about this. We were talking about our tickets and what games we're going to go to. And my first game, I was 7. And I remember it. It was awesome. It was a totally cool environment. There is no way in hell that I would take any kid there that is less than 16 years old to that stadium, or probably 18, because adults don't know how to conduct themselves anymore. they act like it's a party, which is fine to a certain extent, because believe me, the diehards can fucking party too, but we know when to fucking focus on the stadium. But that shit doesn't happen. So LaFleur came in because McCarthy had no awareness of this, and they said, like, you
McCarthy
guys
had
need
awareness
to put
of very
videos
little
together.
in general.
Yeah. But then they make these PSAs. Our fan base needs fucking PSAs to tell people when to shut the fuck up and when to make noise. It's fucking embarrassing.
Right.
But it's ridiculous to me to go to a game in Lambeau and you have to have players making videos showing you what you need to do. Like Charles Woodson saying, all right, that defense is out there. Make some noise. And then on offense, you see that.
Right.
It's like, oh my goodness.
I was at
what
a
has
game
happened
once.
here?
Is it better nowadays to just watch at home? Because you can actually watch the game.
Yeah.
The beer is affordable. Like, that's my, like, what does
Well,
it cost to, like, have the full-on
That's another part of it.
Lambeau experience of, like, I want to get my kid a hot dog and have a
Yeah.
couple drinks and, like,
So
you're
I'm
talking $800 now?
You're at a minimum in it for probably $650 at a minimum, and that means you probably, so between your tickets to park, the food that you buy to grill, and anything at the game, it's probably close to $700.
Yeah.
That is not enough.
So
When
that
the
someone can
average
spill a
median-
beer on your lap.
When the average median income of Green Bay is like $48,000 or $50,000 a year, that is way too expensive for a family of diehards
Right.
to take. It's just too, and then you've got to pay for all of the games.
Right.
I
And
just
you
think
make
it's
a good
bad.
point that's like the reason for lack of a better word, the quality of the crowd at Lambeau Field is going down is because they're not really football fans.
They're not.
They're
They're there
there
to party.
at an event that, like,
They're there to party.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this, and then we can move on. So in 2012, it was that extremely cold game. It was like a record cold game. They were going to play the 49ers. But it was that year that the Packers, Rodgers broke his collarbone. He came back. He threw that
where was
touchdown pass.
Bakhtiari?
He threw that touchdown pass against the Bears in the last second to win the division, and then the next week. So the expectations were not super high, but because they only had like a 9-7-1 record or something, not great that year, but they made the playoffs, so they get the home game.
Yeah.
So many people, so many fair weather fans, with that in the cold,
Had
wouldn't
left?
go.
Oh.
Wouldn't go to the game, and there was a threat of a blackout, which means
I
that
remember
there
that.
wasn't enough. The game itself was
They
not
weren't gonna
sold out,
broadcast
meaning
it.
you couldn't broadcast the playoff game. Did that not signify a problem to like the Packers organization of, wait a second, we can't fucking get people to come to these things?
Right.
So Associated Bank and a number of sponsors bought up gobs of tickets
Mm-hmm.
to ensure there wasn't a sellout, and then sold them or gave them away to their employees for free, just to make sure people in the Green Bay area. That would have never fucking happened.
Yeah.
In the 90s, it would have never happened in the early 2000s. But anyway, we'll wrap up the Packers minute with things are happening.
Are we aiming for smooth
exciting.
transitions this episode? Because
Sure.
I can do it.
Okay, well, look, we're excited.
Yes.
There's football happening.
Yes.
Family night's coming up. And go.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to call this the social awareness hour.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll try to get audio of George Costanza going, you know, we're living in a society. That's the Costanza laser beam. He's famous for that. So here's what happened, dude. Adam has not heard this story. So, we played a show last week, and it was a big one. It was a lot of fun. It was awesome.
A few hundred folks.
About 400 people there. And we were like, there were two bands, and we were like the headliner, and felt very good. We were very excited. It was very cool.
Very fun.
And there was food there that you had to line up for the food. So me and Zim, we went and got in line to get some food because we were hungry and because that's how lines work, that you locate the back of the line and then you deposit yourself there,
And to jump in
becoming
real
the
quick,
new back of the line.
To paint the full picture,
Yes.
I had stepped into line, and there was
Yes.
no one else here very clearly identified the line. Christopher comes up and talks, and then properly stands over my shoulder to signify that, yes, I am also in line.
I am
but we
the
are
new
still having a
back of the
conversation.
line.
But he is the back of
I
the
have
line.
attached myself to the caboose, thereby becoming the new caboose.
The precedence was very clearly set. Anyway,
So we're standing in line, And this old lady, but not senile. She wasn't having a senior moment.
Like a 70s?
No, 60s.
60s maybe.
Okay.
She comes and stands right in front of us. Then her husband comes and stands next to her.
Oh, no,
Then-
wait. She says...
Well,
oh,
then
oh.
the husband arrives, and then she turns around and sees us both and goes, "Oh, there's a line," and then turns back around. And the husband goes, "Don't argue with her. There's no point."
And Chris and I are like,
We're living in a society.
I'm sorry.
You're at my show, by the way. Just
There is this whole...
You bought tickets to see me today.
Well, it's that, but it's also, it's not, it's like, you acknowledge that you saw there was a line.
Oh, there's a line.
And then you use
Yeah.
this, I don't know, it had sort of this air of, I'm the elderly.
Right.
You should let me go ahead of you.
Right.
Even though you're fully able to move, you have no limitations.
Right.
There's nothing there that means that you get priority over anybody to get in line.
Right. I let people cut ahead of me all the time if they have like a little kid or if they're in some way disabled, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm like, what
But,
the fuck was that?
And we're on a bit of a time because we're going like, okay, so we got to eat this food and then
And
we got to
we
let it
gotta
settle
go,
for a minute and then
like-
go on stage and entertain this woman who just, and I couldn't believe I get so sad when you see, and I don't just want to say, like when you see a spouse that clearly is communicating to you like, it's been this way for 40 years.
yes.
I'm so tired.
Shout out to the guy.
Please just don't
But maybe
do
not.
anything. Please.
Just,
She's unbearable.
she's awful. Don't make
Oh,
my
there's
day
a line.
worse.
That's cute.
Don't make my day worse.
Anyways.
But anyway, do we not have any social awareness? This is sort of in the vein of the fuck your feelings guy. Like, can we have some social decency? Can we just get some sort of principle of like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you guys were in line. And then go to the back of the line, which, by the way,
Yeah.
was just behind you. There was nobody else
It would have
there.
added 10 minutes to her day. And
Yeah.
you know what I miss a little bit? I consider myself to be a very nice person. And I like when people think I'm a nice person. But sometimes I a little bit miss, like, there was a brief window where people would not cut in front of me in line because I have tattoos on my neck. And they
Yeah.
don't want to, The husband would be like, honey, no.
He's got her neck.
He's not coming for you. He's coming for me. Get the back of the line. Get the back of the line.
Please step away.
But now they're just like, oh, I bet he probably writes poetry or some dumb shit. Oh, there's a line.
Oh, cut in front of him. Fuck that guy. In some way, some little voice inside her said, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
I need my pizza before them.
Yeah.
Adam, have you had any situations like this recently?
Not line cutting, but I think one of my biggest issues right now is the self-checkout lanes at grocery stores.
those.
And every time I'm there, I have like my lunch meat and one other thing. And usually if I see somebody like that, I'll say, go ahead, because I have nowhere to be. But then the person with a full fucking cart just goes right ahead. And then the thing freezes, or they have booze, so they got to scan an ID.
And the whole time in the back of your mind, you're going, why am I a cashier at a grocery store today?
Right.
I do not recall applying for this job. Why didn't the prices go down when I had to start doing all the work?
I'm waiting in line to work at a job that I don't want to be at, basically, is
Yeah.
the sense of it.
This is my job now?
I
but again,
like this-
I'm
I
not
like-
saving any money.
I like the self-checkout lanes. I
Yeah.
don't
I do
mind
too.
them, but
Don't.
it's you don't need to
If
bring
I
a
have
whole
to go-
cart through here.
No. If I have something quick, it's totally fine. It's time saver. That and doing pickup still, I enjoy
Yes,
it.
I
you still
still
doing
do
that?
that.
On occasion, yeah. Like I just don't have a whole lot of time during the week, so I'll do a pickup order and schedule it.
He's in a fairly successful rock band. I was at Woodman's
true.
once, and I was walking back out to my car. And as I was approaching my car, I noticed there was a vehicle next to my car, and there was a man in the vehicle, which is pretty normal stuff.
Weird.
And he was like, he had a McDonald's barbecue sauce, and he was just having it. And I'm approaching the car, and I'm seeing, okay, he's got some nuggets, I'm sure, and there was a little bit left. Look at whatever. I'm not judging it. Then my guy fires up another one and is just having it. And I get to my car,
Just eating barbecue cups.
and I look into his car, and he's just in there with, I see 3 or 4 little barbecue things. No nuggets on scene, no fries happening.
You got some shotgun shells of empty barbecue sauce.
And I'm not judging him. You know, we're barbecue fans. I'm just going like, I'm curious, like, what happened that, like, you had 5 things of barbecue sauce on you, and you're at the Woodman's, and you're like, okay, I got to go into this Woodman's, but first, I got to power up with my Popeye needs his sauce.
He's getting away from his wife that cuts his fucking lines all the time.
It's the only place I can have my sauce. That stupid cow won't let me just eat my barbecue in peace.
Well, maybe that same wife is just like, you better not buy too much barbecue sauce. Well, honey, we're out of it. See, we're out of barbecue sauce. Better get some more.
Where do you get? Can you go to McDonald's and just get?
He probably
sauce?
he probably saves one, or maybe he does.
Oh, there you go. Like Kevin's free Big Mac plan.
Exactly. You save one piece at a time.
And then at the end of the week, you have a free Big Mac that tastes even better because you made it with your own 2 hands. And this is why I totally understand addiction. Because I have been to McDonald's. I've had the experience. I know I don't care for it. But there's still a part of my brain that sometimes I drive by it and I go, ooh, maybe.
It's got you programmed.
Yeah. You're just like, that does sound good.
We took American
Rich creamery butter.
and creamy butter and created a thing out of nothing called Thousand Island dressing.
Right.
What is Thousand Island dressing?
Have you seen that episode of
There's nothing that looks like it anywhere on Earth.
It's something. It's got like relish in it, I think.
It's just like ketchup and ranch and relish.
I think it's
mixed
ketchup,
together.
mayonnaise, and relish.
That's basically
That should be
it.
a special episode of the podcast where you and me have a contest to see, without Googling it, who can make Thousand Island dressing first.
I don't want to do that.
Have you seen that Simpsons episode where they're at the Krusty Burger and the kid working there goes, "We're out of special sauce. Put some more mayonnaise in the sun."
Yeah. Put that mayonnaise in the sun.
Because they released that new burger called the Clogger.
The Clogger. Oh my God, that show was so good. Have you seen how many things that they have gotten right in history?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
It is tricky, though, because people are faking it now.
That's true.
They're like
But
photoshopping
some of those-
images. A
but
lot of them
I
are
remember.
real. Yeah.
I remember a lot of those.
I mean, the Donald Trump coming
was
down the
real.
escalator to announce that he was going to run for president was real.
Real?
But that begs the question, do the Simpsons predict the future? Or is that where Trump is believably sourcing all of his political ideas?
Could be.
Yeah.
That man does like TV.
He does like his TV. You mentioned that guy came to your door during the show. The guy came to your door. He's like, "Are you gonna vote? Are you gonna vote for Ron Johnson?" You're like, "No, because it's Ron Johnson." And the guy's like, "Eh."
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about a way to try to describe that, like that weird innate thing. And it's like, if you got someone who's just like Ron Johnson, if you take the R off next to his name, nobody likes him.
Nope.
If you have a family member who
Uncle
is your
Ron.
family, who doesn't have the R next to their
God.
name, but is a total douchebag that you just don't like, even though they're your family, you still don't like him and probably don't reach out to that person.
You can see a
But as
picture
long
of
as
Scott
there's
Walker.
an R next to the name of Ron Johnson, people will like him.
Right.
Isn't it fucking amazing? Anyway, enough about that.
Okay.
Adam, did you have any topics? Anything that you were interested in?
I couldn't really think of much today, but I know there's a local business I wanted to shout out when the time
Ooh.
comes.
Well,
time
let's do it
comes.
right now. Let's do it.
Dude, you got to fade her up and then button.
It's just
The production value on this.
Adam would like to share a positive story of a local business.
Adam
Yes.
Pink Feet Kepke.
Adam Ginger Thunder.
OnlyFans Queen.
OnlyFans Ginger Stick. Whatever.
So which pedicure place do you want to talk about?
Oh, I'll talk about that later. Annette and I were at Art in the Park over the weekend.
Art in the Park.
Had, I had no idea they
Wonderful.
existed. Who's the Man Barbecue?
Ooh.
That is, I think, just a food truck around here. They don't have like a brick and mortar business.
Big black truck. Right?
Yes,
I
with
saw
a
that.
huge offset smoker.
Who's the Man Barbecue?
Yes.
Really?
They,
The whole thing is you got to guess which man they barbecued that day.
whoever he was, surely
It was
delicious.
tender.
Oh, it was fantastic.
What'd you get?
Brisket tacos. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Ooh,
But then they had, I think it was all brisket that day. Brisket sandwiches, brisket mac and cheese, brisket
okay.
tacos.
Ooh, brisket mac and cheese.
That sounds pretty
Delicious.
That
So if
sounds
you see
pretty
them
good.
out anywhere, go and get some.
Who's
food
the
from them
Man Barbecue?
instantly.
Who's the Man Barbecue? That sounds pretty good.
I was at Art in the Park, and I
In
noticed
the park?
two things. One, I'm debating if I want to talk about because it's a little bit snarky, and I don't
it.
want to.
We can always cut it out.
Okay. There was. No, because I have to pretty specifically detail a thing, and like someone could see it and be the person I'm making fun of. And I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to be nicer,
Do
more
it.
empathetic.
Do it.
You're
5,
like the
4,
devil.
3, 2.
Now, do it now.
Do it now.
Do it. Now.
But here's another thing I noticed that I had not really ever noticed in the amount that I noticed it. Did you notice how many of the booths had signs up that said no photography?
I did not.
I noticed a bunch, and I'm assuming that because most of this is like visual art, it's like, hey, don't photograph this and then go home and make a shitty copy.
Right.
But Tori and I were both saying, like, if 100 people take a picture of your thing, one of them will do so with the intention to rip you off, and 99 will do so with the intention of, like, hey, Sarah, what do you think of this? Or
Yeah.
I want to get a picture so I can remember to get this for Mother's Day in a few months or something. And I just thought it was an interesting, like, I understand why they're doing it, and I have empathy for it, but I thought it was an interesting, like, you're taking such extreme efforts to protect your art that you're not letting people share it.
Yeah.
And you wonder if that's like maybe one too far in the best interest of the artist and all that stuff. And I guess at the end of the day, the judgment would go to whoever's doing the nefarious stuff and like photographing stuff and then ripping it off. But like,
Yeah, that's
yeah, I always thought as an artist, and again, I'm not judging anybody, but like my main objective is like, please do share it. Like,
Right.
whatever, the radio show, the podcast, a song, like I would much rather people hear it and enjoy it than get their dollar.
And what are
You know.
what would you be really missing out on if someone took a copy of something? That one person out of 100.
Sure. Yeah, because you'd still have the other 99 people that were photographing it to celebrate it or
Maybe
to
that's-
share it or
maybe
to
that's not-
remember to come back and get it next time, or
Maybe that's not it.
what do you think it is?
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Interesting.
Unless
Because I've
it's-
even like, I've been in record stores and I'll take a picture of something to send it to Tori and go like, hey, can you see if we have this? And occasionally the guy will be like, what are you doing?
Oh, I can see for like competitive reasons. A lot
Sure,
of
if he
people- I
thinks
can
like
see
I'm
that.
seeing if it's
But
on
it'll pop up
Discogs or something.
in-
I saw at least 5
Well,
booths that said no photography.
Was it all just like visual art booths, like painters and stuff like that, or was it a mixed bag?
It was a mix. Some of it was sculpture. Some of it was stuff that like, there's no way I could just go home and make my own one of these.
Right.
Like, but that would, maybe you're right. Maybe there's another reason. Send us an email if you can think of a different reason
.com.
why you would. And again, I get trying to protect your art and your intellectual property, and I'm not judging anybody. I just thought it was interesting that like
It is interesting though.
I had not seen that before. In that, it seemed pretty common. I'll tell you the funny thing I saw afterwards. It's ridiculous.
It
It was like I was in Portlandia.
Like right now.
Oh, you were at Boardlandia?
I was in Portlandia.
Oh.
The thing I saw.
Okay.
What is
You know how those
Boardlandia?
artists.
Oh, that's
Portland,
a
the
It's a
game.
board game place in the city center.
No, they moved out by, they're on Oneida Street, out by Northland now, in that like little strip mall.
I don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
do board games. I do Clue.
Board games are fun.
I play Sorry.
Board games are fun.
We do like Those fun card games like Taco Cat Go Cheese Pizza.
Those are fun.
And Sushi Go?
Sushi Go.
Love Sushi Go.
So fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
I should get into some of these.
Fox would like them because they're like card games, but you get to like slap the table really hard and like clap your hands together and do all kinds of fun stuff.
I'll have to head to Gnome Games, which is over by us. They're pretty good. There's a D&D game, or there's a D&D movie coming out, or something new. Dungeons and Dragons
familiar.
is coming
It'd be
out.
hilarious if
And
it was
there's like
just
outrage over it.
I think it'd be hilarious if the D&D movie, like they announced the cast and everyone's all excited, and the movie comes out and it's just like The Rock and Kevin Hart and Tom Cruise playing D&D,
Dude, did you
being
see?
filmed with like an iPhone.
So apparently, and I'm probably getting the context of this wrong, and then we can move on to eating spicy stuff.
Oh God!
But there was a movie. Remember, there was that. Well, Stranger Things talked about how there was always that panic about how Dungeons and Dragons is bad, and parents shouldn't be allowing their kids
witchcraft.
to play. Like it's witchcraft, all that shit.
Harry
so there was
Potter,
a movie
too.
that came out that was supposed to like suggest the dangers of playing that, and Tom Hanks was in it. And there's a clip of it that is absolutely hilarious, where he's at the end of this like dock and his friends are chasing him down, and he's like, "It's just a game, it's just a game." And he's like, "It's just a game," and he starts crying, and it's like, I don't know if it was like supposed to be like a PSA for like not playing Dungeons and Dragons, but I'll show you the clip.
Please
but
do.
It's absolutely hilarious. But apparently people don't like that now anymore. But
No, there's a big movement
or they're against Dungeons.
in the modern church
Oh, is
that
that
those
what it
kind of
is?
games
Oh.
and like Harry Potter and Halloween are bad.
I
Which
know
of course,
Geraldo way back in like the 90s.
yeah.
Well,
During
using
the
your imagination
Satanic
is
Panic
bad.
stuff.
That's why they have like you drive around in October and all the churches have like a fall festival.
Oh,
That's a substitute for Halloween.
what?
Yeah, because it takes all the demonic
Do you think?
gobbledygook.
Do you think "fuck your feelings" guy goes to church?
It's hard to say. I used to would have said for sure, but now there's like this weird. I used to think like, yeah, Republicans go to church, but now like it's two different categories. There's Republicans and there's Trump supporters,
That's true.
and sometimes Republicans are Trump supporters, but not all Trump supporters are Republicans
No, they're just
or
about the dude.
religious or
Yeah.
whatever. A lot of them are on meth.
Oof.
I like to split my money evenly between my meths and my flags.
Oh man, that seems like a good time to eat some hot shit.
Burn some teeth off.
So-
Oh, Lordy B.
This is our first attempt at eating some spicy shit.
Now
Which we thought would be
you
fun.
have not had these.
I have not had
I
these.
was at the store and I saw these and I bought them and I sent Sim a picture and he said we're going to eat these on the podcast and I said they're pretty hot.
I'll be the judge of that.
So you've had them already.
I have had
So
them.
Chris has had them. I have not.
We also did the Pocky Chip together.
We did.
And that was obviously much worse, but
Oh, How much worse?
much worse.
Much worse. Okay.
Oh,
this won't be that
nothing. I would put the Pocky Chip right next to the time I had that kidney stone.
Ooh.
bad. Well, I
It
mean,
was bad.
that was fucking bad. Well, we're gonna eat Pocky Chips on the show at some point, so get ready. We'll just do a stack. Dude,
Look
it
how
can't be
green
that
they are.
bad. It can't be that bad. It can't.
You said that might be about 10.
That's about
You're
right. That's
yeah.
about 10. Okay. Well, here's what they are. They are caliente.
Los
Is that-
Caliente, which is the hot one's sauce.
Oh yeah.
It's like their
Okay.
middle sauce, I think.
Well, it even says on the
That's the
heat
middle.
indicator.
That's the middle.
It's not going to be that bad. Come
It's-
on.
Glad
You know what
I
the
ain't
best
doing
part
it.
is?
Woo.
Hey, how you
Smells
doing?
good. All right. Well, I think Adam, any words of advice here? I can't imagine they're that.
I would
spicy.
say don't, but I like the entertainment, so let's watch.
Again, they're totally edible. It's not that bad. I'm just saying it's hotter. I wouldn't sit on the couch watching a game and eat a bunch of these.
So, all right. Well,
You doing two at a time?
that's really good.
It's really good.
That tastes like caliente. Very, like, really good.
It's got a back end on it.
I'll be the judge of that. It's good. It's a bummer, Adam. That hot stuff is.
I just
Not up your alley.
don't
These are
enjoy it.
Excellent.
It makes me curious though.
These aren't that bad, but Are you still doing like cuts of meat in the smoker and like slow cooking stuff? Mm-hmm. Do you add any spice to that when you do that?
Black pepper, salt and black pepper.
Just straight up?
It's all.
These are amazing. I'm gonna eat this whole thing.
These are spicy chips, dude. Your eyes are watering.
What? They're not hot.
Well, your eyes are watering. Fine.
Because I talked when I had food in my mouth. It's not that bad.
Woo.
I gotta try one.
Yes.
Do I have to put a gaff
It's not
tape,
that bad.
some gaff tape over this Pringles logo?
All right, I'm going in for round 2.
They smell delicious.
These are really good.
I'm saying they taste really good.
That's hot right off the bat.
Thanks, dude. See, why don't we have a camera on Adam?
Nope. Hell no. My
Thank
whole
you.
tongue is already like numb.
Right. I'm on my like 12th. My lips are.
Ugh.
You're watching Field of
You're
Dreams.
you're real glassy eyed right now. Oof.
You got a kind of glass here.
No, water doesn't help, but
No. But it's really good. I hope they come up with like
they taste
hot sauce.
delicious, but that's hot.
Yeah, they taste really good, but they are too hot to enjoy with like a sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
they should come out with what is that one that's it's like the third one in the lineup. It's a red one.
Classic
The classic.
with the pine. I never got to try that with like the pineapple.
That's really good.
The classic.
I'm trying to figure out what this feeling is.
It's called pain. It's called lip pain.
Oh, it's like when you spray yourself with off and then like 20 minutes later you go like this and it's just fucking numb and
yeah.
burning.
You start. Yeah. It's like when I
It's
touched
exactly
my tutor
that.
with that jalapeno finger.
Yeah, there you go.
Good reminder.
It does
Wash hands
it does
before you eat.
dissipate quickly though. The tingle's
Maybe if
still
you
there.
stop eating them.
Yeah, I am eating more of those. Hell
I've
no.
been peer pressured.
Well, I've eaten almost this whole thing while you're working through your 10. This has been a successful show.
It's making me miss Ryan though.
Should we have you guys
Ryan
eat
Romanesco.
raw
Sauce
habaneros next week?
What is it?
Could eat some habanero seeds next week.
Fuck that.
I-
That's pretty hot.
I watched one of my friends do that, and about 30 seconds later started vomiting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would
I
not
did that.
recommend it.
So that's the story I'll give right before we wrap this thing up here.
Okay.
No way.
When I
I
worked
feel
at
like I'm doing cardio right now, dude. Oh, I inhaled like a crumb. It's on my throat.
It's pretty hot, but
What's
I was super hungover. Super hungover. Went to go work at the produce section at Cops down in Oshkosh when I was in college. And the guy comes in, the manager, he's like, "We'll get a bunch of habaneros in." I'm like, "Yeah?" He's like, "You ever had one?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "I dare you. Let's both eat one." And I'm like, "Fuck, I don't care." Definitely still drunk in the morning from like the night before. And I ate one, and immediately within like a few minutes, was chugging milk and threw up threw up all over the place because it was on empty, hungover stomach, and a whole habanero just ate it.
That's bad.
Not good. That was just as bad, if not worse, than the Pocky Hot Chip for sure.
Oh, I believe it.
Like that was just not great.
Dude, you got nothing to prove. Your eyes are still watering right now. I mean, again, they taste good.
They taste very good.
It's just hot.
Yeah.
It's like getting slapped in the face by a real pretty gal.
Kudos
Have you-
to Pringles for getting these on the market.
Have you
They're way
watched
better than the corn
people
ones.
vape ghost peppers?
What?
It's very entertaining. I would highly recommend
That's
it.
insane.
People vape ghost peppers?
They'll vape it, or they will stick like dried ghost peppers in a bong and then smoke that. Oh, it's awesome.
Why?
Those are the kind of people that cut in line.
Well worth watching. I'll
Those
say
are
that.
line cutters.
Those are definite line cutters.
Oh, well, that was good and delicious. Yeah. It's not going to feel good tomorrow.
Yeah, round 2 isn't going to be good for you.
It's not going to be great. Well, anything else to add, gentlemen, before we wrap up today? Anyway, all right. That's it? Good? Chris is good? I'm good.
I'm
It's
good.
not here.
3, Wow.